Hi everyone, welcome to this edition. Last time we spoke about Good Friday and how Jesus gave up his life so that we may be saved, so that we may achieve salvation. Jesus did his part. We also have a part. We have to earn our lives. That's what I said last time. And I talked about two things. We talked about two of the main commandments that Jesus had given us. Love your Lord with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. And second one is love your neighbor as you love yourself. Why are these two rules or commandments so important? Jesus says that if you actually follow these two, all the prophets and law hangs around it. These two. Not 10, not 300, not 7,000, just two. So let's take a look at why these two are so important. Once a man comes and asks Jesus, what should I do to attain eternal life? Jesus says, what do you think you should do? What are the commandments that you know that you need to follow? He says, love your Lord, your God, with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, and love your neighbor as yourself. That is what I want to touch upon before I come back to the first one. Jesus uses this time to explain how to love your neighbor through a story about the Good Samaritan. Everybody knows about it. I think the whole world knows about this story about the Good Samaritan. A trader was walking down from traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. He gets attacked. He's left for dead. 3 people pass by. 2 walk by him. Only one, a Samaritan, takes him on his camel and takes him all the way to an inn and asks the innkeeper to take care of him, leave some money behind, and said that he will return to take care of him. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. What I want you to look at today is the 2 people who did not look at the person who was left for dead. The priest and the Levite. Why do you think that they did not have the time to look at him? Or they did not even think about looking at him? I want you to look at a statistic before we can kind of delve deeper into it. Take a look at this. This shows what happens every minute on the internet. If you look at from the right to the left, it talks about how much the consumers spend online, WhatsApp shares, Amazon shipping packages, LinkedIn users applying for jobs, Facebook shares, Twitter gaining users, YouTube uploads, Instagram posts, Netflix streaming, and Zoom meetings. If you put all of it in a totality, there is a theme that emerges. It's all about me. It's all about my things, how I want to put things across, what I want to buy, what I want to share, what I want to think, what I think about, how I just want to kind of, expressing myself so that I can put it out there so that people like what I do. Self-appreciation, self-glorification. I think that was the same thing that was going on with the priest and the Levite. They were taking care of their own business. This is my business. They were thinking about what they need to do when they reach a place that they were going to, what they need to do tomorrow, or what they had done yesterday. It's all about what they had done. They were so involved in it that they did not even have the time to look up and look at the person who was injured right beside them. Jesus talks about this in a very, very poignant manner. What he says next is, we need to kind of move out of ourselves and reach out to the people who need our help. But why are we so closed enclosed in our thoughts, our feelings? Because we need to take care of our things first. Because who else will take care of it? This brings me to the first commandment. Love your Lord, your God, with all your heart, with all your mind. Jeremiah says, I have plans for you, plans to make you prosper, not to harm you. And I will reveal it to you when you come and seek me out. This is the biggest problem. We try to manage and try to kind of do things on our own, thinking that we have everything in our control, and that is the biggest myth. Everything is in God's control. He has a plan for us, a plan to make us prosper, not to harm us. We need to seek Him out. And why is it so important for us to seek Him out? Because when we know that we are taken care of, we can go out and take care of others. It is this particular principle that is actually, you might say, echoed in John when he says, we haven't seen God, but we see people around us. And when we love each other, God abides in us because God is love. So when we come closer to God, when we understand His works, when we understand His plans for us, we understand that He is in control and He is taking care of us. And when I know about that fact, and when I imbibe that quality of God, all I can spread and share is love. Jesus says, I am the vine, you are my branches. You can do nothing without me. So when when you imbibe Him in you, the love spreads, the peace spreads. You will look up, you will look out, you will reach out and offer your hand, your shoulder to the person who needs your help. You will start loving the other person as yourself because you have started seeing God inside of them. So this great Easter week has been such a blessing for all of us. This pandemic, people have lost a lot of things. People have lost their jobs. People have lost their near and dear ones. There is a lot of suffering all around you. Take this time. Look up, look out, and reach out. First, connect with God. Understand what He has for you. Understand the purpose that He has laid out for you. And once you imbibe Him in you, let that radiance spread and then reach out to the person who needs your help. Recognize your neighbor and reach out your hand to help them. Because someone somewhere has said, a person's most useful asset is not a head full of knowledge, but a heart full of love, an ear ready to listen, and a hand willing to help others. So my dear friends, this Easter, let's echo the same feeling. The two laws Jesus gave us. Love your Lord with all your heart, with all your mind, and all your strength. So that you understand Him, you imbibe Him, you breathe Him, and that starts flowing in you. And once it starts flowing in you, you start loving your neighbor as yourself. And when we start loving each other, God will abide.